and action.
All the homies.
All the homies.
All the homies.
All the homies.
Oh, Malik, what's up, man?
What's up, brother?
We're Jay Little.
What's goody?
What's been good with you, man?
Hey.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Bro, I see you like 4 times a week. What are you doing?
Bro, come on now. Come on
Because
now.
I gotta see you all the time.
Yeah, we do. We do. Honestly, we've been working out lately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. That's
Like,
what's up. Getting them gains going.
We've been
Trying to get big.
hitting pretty much. We started with like once or twice a week,
Okay.
and then like eased it into like we were doing 3 days a week, but we weren't getting 3. And then we were averaging about 2.
You were aiming for 3, though.
We were averaging about 1 to 2,
Bro.
but we were aiming for 3.
That was during the holidays, though. So
Why is
we
it so
started
hard?
early. You know, you got to build the habit up,
It's
I guess.
Yeah.
That's why we started it. Like, we knew holidays were coming up, so started building the habit. And then I think once the new year came around, it's been a lot better. I've been hitting more like 4 days a week.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So.
No, now we
Y'all
consistently.
about to see me swole.
Dude, he's about to get jacked though. For real, he gonna look like one of those Viking guys. You
I
know
can
what I'm
see
saying?
it. He's already got the frame for it.
Bro,
That's it,
like
man.
the Icelandic, strong men. That's what we're
Mhm.
training for him to
Like a Viking.
We gonna win some
Yeah,
competitions.
I can
that's
see
for
that.
sure.
Yeah.
I can see that. Trade his guitar in for an axe.
No, for real, bro. But yeah, dude, we started. So we're consistently hitting like 4 days a week now.
Dope.
In the morning time. Like at first, it was really tough because like. You know how life is just different, man. Like you get in bed at different times, and we've been hitting in the morning. So like at first it was like tough, especially for me, because I don't sleep like consistently well at all. Like my gears are turning at night sometimes, and but honestly, as of late, man, we just kind of made it a rule. It's like if you sleep 9 hours or you sleep 1 hour, or you don't even go to sleep,
Go.
we'll see you at the gym at 7:30.
Go.
And so with that, I think the first couple days are tough, but then consistently your body adjusts to it. Like consistently now, like it's like 10 p.m. at night, and if I'm not in bed, dude, I'm trash. Like my
Yeah.
buddies are like, let's get on Warzone, and I'm like, bro, I cannot. Like if I'm on there, I'm just like sitting there getting sniped because just
It's
yeah,
over
man.
with.
So, but like we consistently built the habit. So like we've been
That's
been grinding.
That's
you
good.
know.
That's good. I was talking to my dad a couple of days ago. I was like, man, look, if you woke up and said, I'm not going to work, they'd fire you. If you woke up with that same
That's true.
mentality about going to the gym,
That's
you know,
true.
and had that same mentality every day you wake up, every day, that's how you build that consistency. So that's what I've been trying to do because where I was aiming for 5 days a week, maybe hitting 2 on a good week.
Right.
You know, just kind of focusing on other stuff, you know, kind of just wheel spinning, all that stuff, but just having that consistent mentality for me 3 days in a row, trying to keep it going.
Yeah.
So we'll
Do you
see.
play video games too?
Yeah, I've been big on Fortnite here lately.
No way, dude.
Bro, I got back into Fort, bro.
You're back on Fortnite?
Bro, I don't
thought
know
we
what-
left that like 3 years ago.
It was Fortnite back in the day. I mean, back in the day. Then it was Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty. Got a little bit of 2K. I started a couple of my careers, got to about 90, and then just stopped playing. And now I'm on that Fortnite, bro. On that Fortnite grind.
Bro, that's
yeah,
crazy
yeah.
because like I remember during COVID and like all the lockdowns and stuff.
Mhm.
Like it's when me and you were training at D1 and they closed everything down.
Yep.
We were meeting at the field in Ringgold.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
just like getting it out there like during high school practice. Like
Yep.
they were practicing on the other side of the field.
It'd be
we were
like
getting
4
hit with
different
the
things
punts and
set up.
stuff.
Yeah.
And but like we would just like we get done and literally everything was closed.
Yep.
And we would just go home and just ball out on some Fortnite.
That's it, bro.
Like we were just,
Addicted.
clapping some people on Fortnite at night, and
It
then
was fun, too.
and then we moved into Warzone,
Mhm.
and that's when, dude, it was hilarious because like, we all had our skins and everything, and your skin was you had that dude that like big old ripped like
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman dude with the chains, and he had a dog and a
And
golden
the gold
gun.
mask. And the,
I was like, dude, Malik is just tripping up on this right now, but that's crazy to know that you're back on Fortnite, dude. Fortnite was like revolutionary.
bro, it still is, bro. Believe it or not, that whole no build stuff is taking
Yeah,
off.
I mean, I get that, but like, dude, revolutionary because it was like the first like a battle royale style game
Mhm.
that I know of.
That
I mean,
and
there
PUBG, is that what it was?
maybe PUBG.
They came
too.
out around the same time, too.
Right, but like it really changed the whole gaming system because like back in the day, like I remember gaming was like you bought a $60 game at GameStop
Yep.
or you pre-ordered a game, paid $65 for it, and then you played it. 8 hours, you beat the campaign or whatever, and then you just play multiplayer. But they came out with that like free cost model where it's like the game is free, but they are raking in millions off these people buying skins. Like kids getting their dad's credit cards or whatever, and just buying the battle pass, doing these dances, it's just like crazy.
Partnering with the NFL, partnering with Marvel, all like anime.
Free game, bro. Free game. They duped us.
The skins, bro, are making all the money. The skins and the gliders and all the stuff. It's just
you can dress up as football players.
You can Any number any team, any number, the Marvel characters. I mean,
no way, I didn't know.
And like you got to hop on the trends during the seasons because once it's gone, and there you have their business models. Perfect,
dude. It's crazy, man.
It's crazy.
And it honestly, it's like the same thing. Is like they've stayed consistent. Just like when we were talking about like the working out thing, is like if you just stay consistent with something. Like I don't care what it is. If you go home every day and you smash a box of Krispy Kreme, you're gonna get fat.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying?
You might die.
If you consistently smash a box of Krispy Kremes every freaking night, you're probably gonna get fat. I hate to say it, and this is coming from an ex-fat boy, but like you're gonna get fat.
I don't
you know
think
what I'm
you're
saying?
Shame anybody for that.
But you know what I'm saying? But if you smash a box like every now and then, you know what I'm saying? Or you're eating like one Krispy Kreme donut.
Hey, we love you, Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, I mean, no hate to Krispy Kreme.
I've never smashed a full box of Krispy Kreme donuts.
You ain't never lived.
You should try.
But I can imagine somebody's done that before.
As two used to be big boys.
Yeah,
we done smashed some Krispy Kreme.
But it's the consistency, man. It's like anything that you do consistently. That's what an addiction is, right?
It is.
You consistently do something over and over, and there can be good addictions, bad addictions. There's addictions that you can break, addictions you can't break. But
and that's what I told him when we started doing this. We were doing it 3 days a week, and I said, like, let's go to 4. I said, this is something I want to get kind of obsessed with. If I'm going to do it, if I'm going to get addicted to something, it's going to be that.
Well, and the boys tried, dude, because, like, when we were at school together, like, we would consistently sit down and, like, he'd be like, man, write me up a workout plan, write me up a diet plan or whatever. And I would do that all the time, like, because I was working as a personal trainer. And, I would write up my friends' like workout plans, and dude, 99% of them would never stick to it.
Yeah.
And it took a couple times for him to get motivated and get to it. But like when he did, he was like, all right, like I'm this is it. Like I'm not joking. Let's go. And it even surprised me, bro, because I can't tell you how many times I worked out with homies, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be there. We're gonna get swole together. And I'm thinking in the back of my head,
I'll be there,
I said,
bro.
workout partner for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then it's me again by myself in the gym.
Bro.
And so, but this time, dude, he really did surprise me because consistently he was keeping me accountable. Like on the days that I didn't sleep and I was like, I'll just get the gym later. He was like, man, I'm still gonna go. And that kind of like
y'all watch me out
bro,
there.
That accountability piece, bro, is it goes millions miles away, bro. Just having somebody that's gonna push you to be there, someone that's gonna have you accountable, you keeping yourself accountable. You can't beat that.
Yeah, no, and dude, the thing is, like, I remember for me when I first got into the whole gym game, like, I, hit a point where, like, I grew up overweight, my whole life, and I was, like, working out with this trainer, and, and I would work out with the trainer, but then, like, my diet wasn't in check, I wasn't doing stuff, that I needed to do outside of the workouts, and one day I was working out with that trainer, and we were doing ab rollers.
Yeah.
And I was, like, 320 pounds, right? Yeah. And so, and I remember I was doing them and I would fall on my face every time. And I get up, fall on my face. And usually like my trainer, he would kind of cut it after a while. Cause you get tired of seeing somebody just destroy themselves. Yeah. But he just let me go the whole set. We did 3 sets, 15 reps and me just falling on my face. I remember getting in the car after that. I was like 16 and I was like crying. When you're 16, you just cry about everything. And I was like crying. I was like, I hate my life. Like, and I had tried so many times to lose weight, bro. Yeah. Like, and I'm talking about when I try, like, I was really trying hard. Like, I would go for like a month, 2 months of just like barely eating anything and working out and stuff. And then I wouldn't see results and I'd quit. I'd give up. And so I remember this time I was like, drove to my buddy's house, Willie, which you guys have heard of Willie a lot. And I was just like, man, because all my friends were super athletic. Like, like Willie was like a wrestler, played football. Clay was like a state champion wrestler. My buddy Caddy, he was like a cross country, star. Yeah. And I pulled up and I was like, dude, I was like sitting in his room. I was like, man, I'm just tired of being the fat friend. Like I remember that. I was like, I'm just tired of being the fat friend. And he looked at me, bro. He said, bro, Donate, you don't gotta be.
Right.
You don't gotta be the fat friend.
Mm-hmm.
He said, that's all on you, bro.
Yep.
And when he looked at me and told me it was possible, that like what I was chasing was not impossible, dude, it lit a fire in me. Like I was working out in the morning before school, 2 times during school. I was taking a work study class and going and working out during that, seeing my trainer 3 days a week, running 6 miles at night, and like drop the weight.
Grinding.
And sometimes, man, it's consistency, but like at some point you got to have enough of your own bull crap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And you got to want it. Like you got to want it. And that's what I always tell people. And we've had this conversation in the past is like, I can't want something for you more than you want it.
Exactly.
And so a lot of people wanted me to lose weight. I had incentives and all this kind of stuff, but it's consistency, man. And he's been slaying it.
Yeah.
He really has, bro. Like being back in the gym with him, dude, it's like, it's like for me, man, now that I'm in the gym, like all these years apart from when I lost weight and started working out, like you kind of find yourself running through the motions sometimes.
Yeah.
But like when you get somebody in there like that's getting that fire and stuff, it kind of lights that fire in you again.
Lights it back in
and
you.
I'm just like, dude, yeah, like I'm living it now, so I like it. So yeah, but yeah, man, he's really been crushing it.
That's good, man. You gotta face that man in the mirror every day.
Yes, sir.
And if you look in the mirror and you're like, man, I know I'm not doing what I need to be doing. That's as much motivation as you need, and then bring somebody else on board with that. This is what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah,
So
great.
what's been up with you, bro?
I was about to say a great intro. Just because it's new, I'm gonna put this out there again.
You heard it here first.
I'm Jay Little, y'all. Jay Booty, Jay Money, whatever you want to call me. Got my boy Camille over here,
It's Donate. What's up, y'all?
and our special guest over here. You want to introduce yourself for
Malik
the people?
Foreman. Malik Foreman.
What's going on?
Number
Good to be
13,
13,
Malik
22.
Foreman.
Let's go. It's been a long time since I've heard that, man. Long time, bro. Man, it's everything. Life's been good, bro.
What's been cooking, bro?
Bro, life's good. I can't
Listen, I
complain.
haven't seen you in probably,
Gosh.
what has it been, at least 6 months?
Yeah, something like that.
We got a little work
We
in
got a little
together one
session
morning.
in. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Golly, it's been that long.
You had a hard time that session, bro. You remember that, huh? You remember that session, huh?
We were. If I was there today, I'd probably have a little harder time.
You was like up till like 3 in the morning that night before. And,
Bro.
yeah, you been going crazy or something. I don't know.
Bro, my whole sleep. I think I might have inherited or like adopted your sleep because like I cannot sleep at all now.
Don't do
bro.
that to yourself.
It's like caffeine during the day. Mine's just racing at night on my phone.
Vicious cycle.
TV in the background, you know. But I've gotten better with it. I've gotten better. And if I have a routine before I go to bed, like put the phone down, cut the TV off, just kind of sit in darkness. Then I can go to sleep. But if I got too much stuff going on, my mind's going.
Yeah, but man, really with sleep, it's more of not what you do at night, but what you do in the morning.
Yeah.
I found that out the hard way. Like I was saying, is like if you consistently set a schedule for yourself to wake up at a certain time in the morning,
that's true.
Your body will eventually go to sleep.
That's true.
Now the first week might be just tough. You might not sleep. You might have a terrible week. But eventually, your body's going to get sleep, and it don't matter what's going on outside.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's the 4th of July and fireworks are going off.
You're getting that workout
There's
in.
a concert outside, and, like, you know, there's a mariachi band in your backyard. Who cares? Like, your body's going to get that sleep.
Yeah, most def.
So how's the fam, man? Like, what's been up?
Fam's good. So Mikhail, little bro, he's overseas in Bosnia.
Okay.
Their season's wrapping up here in about a month.
Now,
or
he
so.
played basketball. Remind me the school.
Okay, so
This is your brother, right?
Yeah, my brother. So
His younger brother, yeah.
He started out at Hargraves Military Academy. Okay,
Wait,
prep
he was
school.
in the military?
Military Academy, first year at high school.
ROTC?
Something like that.
Like
yeah.
mess you up after class?
I don't know. You gotta
Carrying
ask
the
him.
flags and stuff?
You gotta ask him. Maybe you can have him on. You can ask him. But he had the whole get up the whole night. I've got pictures.
Bro, he got the camo?
Bro, I got pictures.
Like the
bro.
foreman, like the legit U.S. camo? Oh,
hat and everything. Posture just straight as can be, you know.
Sheesh.
But he started off there. Got a scholarship to play basketball at University of Tennessee Chattanooga. Here in Chat. Played here for 2 years. Transferred up to Stony Brook in New Jersey.
That's when I first kind of got on the scene. Yeah, when he was at Stony Brook.
What I forget what year that was.
2019?
Something like that.
Yeah.
18, 19-ish.
Yeah.
He stays there for a year and then transfers up to California and finishes out his season in Cal. And now he's overseas in Bosnia playing basketball.
Now you watched him up there, right? I remember you going out to a game. How was it like going out to the game out there in Cal?
Bro, it was awesome, bro. Just, I love California. And that whole just...
Never been.
bro. You gotta go sometime, bro.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Now, both of y'all been to California, right?
Yeah.
A few times.
What was it like?
Crowded. And I'm from Atlanta.
Taxes.
No, I mean, I like that. I wouldn't want to live over there, but I mean, it's a vibe. It
is
just the weather and being on the coast anyway. At least the areas I was at.
Mm-hmm.
Real nice.
You got the beaches there. I mean, good food, different cultures, ethnicities. You know, it's just its own little world. You know, but you
it's one of those things like we were talking about on the last episode. It's like you feel smaller out there because there's so many people.
Yeah,
but it's a good feeling.
It's like you know nobody knows you.
Yeah,
and it's fine because you're just part
nobody
of
cares.
The Matrix or whatever they
the Matrix,
whatever they call it.
So okay, so he's where now?
He's in Bosnia.
Shout out all the Bosnians.
Yeah, shout out all the Bosnians out there. We tried to plan a trip out there, man. I don't know if we're gonna make it out there, bro. Honestly,
sorry, bro.
Is it just like
it's
the government stuff?
I mean, you know,
I'm assuming Bosnia is close to Russia.
Flights
right?
are expensive, and you know, just the whole getting through customs and all that stuff. And then I just don't really trust it over there, honestly.
Really?
I'd rather just stay over here.
Really?
America.
Yeah, man, America.
We love America.
Now,
it's crazy over there.
So,
and he said it's chill. He said it's chill. He said he said it's more chill than here actually. He said he likes it out there. He wants to move to like
they got a big basketball
Paris. A little bit, yeah. They do. Mm-hmm. You can watch his games on YouTube. I think his team name is KK Slavia, 1996.
So that's
KK
hard.
Slavia, 1996. Check them out on YouTube. But yeah, man, he's doing his thing. He dropped 25, I think, in his last game.
No, dude, I remember seeing some of the stuff when he was out at Cal. Like, he was just insane.
Bro.
Like, boy can shoot.
Bro got a sniper.
I don't know nothing about basketball, but I know he can shoot.
He's got a ratchet on him, bro. He I think he beat the record for threes in the season up at Stony Brook whenever he was there. So he's talented, bro. Very talented. And he takes his craft seriously. That's what I like. That's what I love about him.
Yeah, he's a serious dude.
He
for
is.
Sure.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a hooper. He's not this plan B, plan C. He's dialed in.
Yeah. So like, let's say, I mean, is he pretty much like he wants to keep playing ball?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how the whole like off-season professional world in basketball is, but from my understanding, he's going to come back here, probably train, and then try to get on another team and just kind of work his way up through the pro basketball ranks.
Bro, I know he could do it.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, I know he could do it.
He's talented.
So how's the rest of the fam?
Everybody's good. So my youngest brother Murray, I don't think you ever met.
No,
him.
I never met Murray.
No, he's in.
He don't look like y'all though.
No. So me and
like, is
Mikhail,
this your cousin?
me and Kel kind of favor my dad's side of the family. Murray is like all mom, all so.
It looked like he can tell some jokes.
Oh, dude,
can he tell some jokes?
He's got a little Instagram, Raystar Funny. If y'all want to look that up later,
Okay.
he's acting a fool on there.
Yeah.
He's just silly. He's always sending those little bit emojis in our group message. You know, just being Murray.
Every family needs one of those at least.
Yeah,
for sure. Have them.
You got to.
Keep the joy alive.
He's doing good. He's living in Knoxville, working.
Oh, so he is in Knoxville.
Yeah, he's in Knoxville working. And my two sisters are in Kingsport, and they're working as well. So everybody's just growing, man. Getting older.
Now, one of your sisters, she committed to college somewhere, right?
Yep. She was playing basketball at Coastal Georgia. I think she's going to end up transferring to another school, and she had some stuff going on with her knee. She had a torn ACL, had to get surgery, it got infected here recently, so
Jeez.
we had to we had to go to the ER with her last week, and I think I forget what happened, but I think it turned septic. I think that's the word for it. So it was pretty serious.
Think that's good.
No,
No,
It doesn't
not good at
sound
all.
nice.
I'm not a doctor, but
It was scary. It was scary, but she's good now. You know, they got her in there, you know, quick enough, so she's doing good.
So how many of your siblings are athletes or have played sports?
So we're all athletes. I played football. Mikhail's basketball. Murray played basketball. He played like a year out of high school, and then just kind of focused on
5
school.
of you guys total?
Mm-hmm. 5. I'm the oldest. 5.
Okay.
Jabria's in basketball, and Janiyah was a dancer in high school. So
Right on.
everybody's pretty athletic. You know, that's kind of in our whole family background. We, you know, our dad was our travel basketball coach whenever we were coming up. So, you know, Pee Wee football, Pee Wee T-ball, football, you know, all that stuff. Basketball, we were doing it all.
Right on. And so this is our first time meeting. I know, you know, a bit about you from Kamel and you guys' relationship. For everybody listening, you know, you want to tell a little bit about your athletic background?
Yeah, so started out playing football. Dobbins Bennett. Well, actually, I'll go back. My whole athletic journey. So, Lynn Garden.
We want to know at conception.
Linview, Pee Wee football, T-ball, and basketball.
Gotcha.
That's.
So, what age did you start?
Bro, like 4 or 5.
Straight out
football. Yeah, 4 or 5. Young.
They didn't let you play on the DS or nothing?
Nah, bro. It was straight to it, man. And mom and dad were working all the time, traveling. So I think they were just trying to drop us off because they had places to be. They were just giving
y'all
us
playing basketball.
Y'all playing basketball. But no, I remember my mom and dad we would always go with them to their Eastman. That's where they work. Their gym. They play pickup. And me and my brothers before
your parents were playing pickup.
Correct. My parents were. They were out there playing ball.
Now were they on the same team?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Mom could shoot the ball, bro. She could shoot the rock. Dad could play too. Yeah.
So there'd be some arguments on the way home.
I mean, they have a little bit of back and forth. But
I was open.
Heads in bed right now. Everybody's going to sleep. Your dad messed it up for everybody tonight.
Bro, I'm telling you, our family is super competitive. I mean, Uno, Scrabble. I remember we were playing Monopoly. It was Christmas, and Murray, the youngest, we were giving him a hard time, just messing with him. He just threw the whole board in the air, pieces, money flying everywhere, ended the whole game. He
said, "I'm moving to Johnny's house."
Bro, he was not happy. But yeah, that's how we are. We're competitive. Sports has kind of been the backbone of our family. Just kind of dad being a coach, mom coaching my sister and my brothers whenever she had to. Going to games, going to practices, just being able to show up. We kind of just gravitated towards football and basketball mainly. I ran track, but my first love was definitely football. So started off playing there, transitioned into Johnsonville Middle School. My idol back in that day was Mike Vick. He was in that whole situation. But yeah, shout out Mike Vick, man.
I feel you because being from Atlanta, that was the jersey I was always wearing.
Yeah,
and I loved it.
Number 7. I feel like they did him dirty.
They did. Of course they did.
Because here's my take on the thing, and trust me, I'm a dog lover. I don't have a dog because I don't have enough time to spend with a dog. I ain't gonna do that to him if I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
But I feel like if there's athletes in drop kicking their kids in the head and stuff right now, or punching their girlfriends in the face, and they got to come back to the league, and I felt like they kind of did him a little dirty.
This whole media world that we live in now, everything is. It's like a tipping a weighing scale.
Right.
There's different punishments for different things, and if you piss this community off, you might get this sentence.
Yeah.
If you do something to this community, you might get that sentence. It's just you got to be careful who you mess with out here, man.
And the thing is, I don't quote me on this. I don't know the story that well, but from what I understand, it was basically his cousin that was running a dog fighting ring at his house.
Yeah.
He was aware of the situation, but I don't think Mike Vick was slapping these pit bulls in the face, putting them on the treadmill and fighting them because he was playing in the NFL. But to me, man, I was they really tanked his career. I mean, I know he went to Philly. Wasn't he? Did he go to the Eagles? And he still balled out a little bit.
Him
But
and Deshaun Jackson had a couple good years. Yeah, they did.
It's hard to recover from something like that.
It's tough, man. I mean, they threw him in jail, prison.
Sheesh.
Was it
They Mike Tyson.
PETA?
He was the best quarterback, or top 5 at least, during that time. I mean, they wouldn't do that. I mean, we're in a different time.
Right.
Nobody's out here having dog fights. But
Exactly.
I feel like if that happened in today's world,
Right.
he might get a 3 or 4 game suspension, maybe have a season.
Yeah.
All the homies does not endorse dog fights.
No, we
definitely
don't.
no. PETA, do not come after us. We do love animals of all sorts, colors, and sizes and genders, but
Where my dog's at?
we just, that's I'm a dude.
I mean, bro, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So Michael Vick was your favorite when you were younger.
Yeah, so I was wanting to be a quarterback. That was my thing. I wanted to play quarterback.
Right. Which I did see on your stats.
Yeah.
I was looking over some stats that your senior year in high school.
In high school, yeah.
Your main quarterback got hurt.
Yeah, Cookie. Shout out Cookie. It's my quarterback.
And
Always
then my boy over here.
Love you, bro.
My boy threw for 600 yards,
bro,
and 17 touchdowns.
I don't know.
6 interceptions.
Yes,
I don't know.
You know.
Yeah, but they
I
said
promise.
they balled out your senior year, man.
We had a good time, man. Chris got hurt. It was very, unfortunate because, we had a very solid team and we would have been very lethal in the playoffs if I was outside playing receiver.
Yeah.
But You know, he tries to dive over me when he could have just walked in the end zone, but you know,
he said, "I've been working out."
Bro, hurt his neck pretty bad. Pretty bad. It was pretty scary. And then I had to step in and play quarterback. And we're running this wing T offense, so I'm pretty much like a glorified running back.
So was the
who
coach
can throw the ball somewhat?
So was the coach basically like, "Hey, who can throw the ball?"
I mean, I was the backup quarterback. Like
Okay.
I would go receiver in you know ones and then play quarterback with the twos.
Yeah.
And I was our backup.
So where did the transition come to, like, you know, defensive back?
So that's a great question.
Because that's what you're, I mean, mainly known for.
Yeah. So it's funny. I was committed to Vanderbilt coming out of high school to play receiver. Like I was gonna play receiver, be a Commodore, you know, all that good stuff. Tennessee came in late, offered me and Devon scholarship as athletes. They didn't really know which side of the ball. They just said they wanted us. They kind of already knew what they wanted to do, but they
knew what they were looking for.
They knew what they were looking for, exactly. So they brought us on, and it was obvious that we needed some athletes in the back end. We needed some DBs. And Cody Sensabaugh, who's, you know, from Kingsport as well, he would bring us to Florida to train with him and, you know, those pro guys, and he was a DB, so we naturally just kind of gravitated towards playing defensive back. You know, that's kind of what we were getting recruited for, you know, for college. And then we had a guy that was pretty much our mentor, football mentor growing up. So I mean, it was kind of like defensive back world was the world that chose us. You know, we didn't really choose it. If I could choose, I probably would have played offense. You know, honestly.
So like if you could go back to that choice, would you have chosen Vanderbilt, knowing what you know now?
No. I still would have. Still in Tennessee, but I probably would have made it more of an effort to be on offense. Like, you know, give me a shot at least. We did some stuff in the off season and sometimes in practice, but it just didn't really work out.
That's a hard transition.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
Because it's like, hey, you've played this one position your entire life.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna put you in the complete opposite position.
Yeah, bro. And just learning an offense, you know, that whole thing, part of it as well. So it was just, you know, it is what it is.
Greatness was thrust upon you.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Just had to play DB. Just had to do it, you know. But it was.
So you ended up at UT.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
Yeah.
Like when you were like a senior.
Yeah.
And you know you're the quarterback for the team, having been a receiver.
Right.
And now you have Vanderbilt and University of Tennessee coming in late, offering you, like, what is that whole process like? I feel like, you know, that must have been a crazy time when you're like, you know, trying to decide that.
Bro, I was blessed with an incredible mother that put together, like...
Shout out Miss Foreman.
Yeah, shout out Mom. I love you, Mom. You know what it is.
I love you, Mom.
I love you.
But she, like, put my stats together, bro, with email coaches, like, put, like, my highlights together, send them to coaches, like, take me to camps, you know, just, like... Doing everything that really wasn't her job.
Right.
But she did it, and she was just doing stuff.
Like these days, there's people who are employed by the school to be doing that for you.
Exactly.
But your mom stepped in. That's cool.
Mom, I mean, at our school, I mean, you have maybe 4 or 5 kids that might sign a scholarship somewhere. One or two of them might be a full ride, you know, just depending on. And that's just athletics. We have a bunch of academic scholarships coming from our school, but, you know, we don't have anybody in our community that's like kind of advocating for the athletes around the area. Like, you need to be looking at this kid, and we don't have the competition level around us to be like, we need to go to Kingsport, Tennessee, or the Tri-Cities to watch some football. Because, but like Atlanta, you know, you got college coaches visiting there almost every weekend. You know, and
they're going down to the elementary school, being like, all right, bring them out.
Some of these,
bro, that's wild.
Some of these middle school kids, bro,
dude, I'm telling you,
might be getting NIL deals here soon.
Our high school, and I don't know how abnormal this is, but because it was a big football school, they, like, the high school was over the middle school coaching as well. That was always strange to me. How big was your class? Like,
so I had 500 plus in my graduating class.
Still pretty
high
big.
School.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of
bigger
kids.
Than my school.
I walked into our senior meeting or whatever when we were going over graduation. Didn't know a single. I mean, I knew majority of the people, but there were like 30, 40 people. I was like, I've never seen that person ever in my life.
I've seen you maybe once.
Yeah,
but they knew you.
But who knows? You know,
they knew you. You know,
who knows? But you know, but yeah, DB was a great experience.
So your mom was putting together all this different stats.
Yeah,
videos.
we're going to all these camps and stuff, just traveling around the country, just trying. So there's no blueprint on recruiting. And we're actually kind of in the process of putting together like a nonprofit that's kind of help with that.
Nice.
Kind of help mentor some.
But y'all need to
young
bring Snoop
athletes.
Dogg in on that. You know what I'm saying?
we
Anything
need-
Snoop Dogg touches to do with football, Coach Snoop.
anything Snoop touches right now is turning to gold. He's on everything.
Or green.
Yeah, or green.
Or
too.
green.
That's
Yes.
true. That's true.
But so you're getting recruited by UT,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
And Vanderbilt. So you when the UT letter comes in, you're just like automatically, you know.
I
Like-
mean, it's crazy because like they called my defensive backs coach at the time, Coach Barrett, and was like, we want to talk to Malik, and he was like, well, you know, he calls me down to the field house, and he's like, you know, Tennessee wants to talk to you, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody unless they're gonna offer Devon. Like, we can't go to the same school. Then I'm just gonna go to Vanderbilt, and
so
he's gonna
who's
do his
Devon?
thing. Devon, we've been as my childhood friends, best friend. You know, we've been playing football since Linview. You know, since we were 5 years old. So, and he's the one that kind of restarted me trying to, you know, wanting to play in college because, like, early on, you know, going into high school, you're like, I want to be on, you know, starting on the high school team, play college. My first years of high school didn't really go that way. You know, I wasn't really on the field as much. You know, and I remember our sophomore year. I mean, he was our starting running back, balling. And then our sophomore going into our junior year is kind of when we both kind of, like you two, held each other accountable. Like, hey man, we're going to the field, we're going to the gym, we're still playing basketball, we're going to the gym right after school, getting a pump in, then going to basketball practice, shooting air balls, bricks. You know, but we knew what we wanted to do. You
And we
know?
know about that brick light.
Too many reps.
But yeah, man, it was just like we were both committed to the same cause, and whenever we were like training and stuff, we were like, we ever have the opportunity to play on the same team, Big D1. I mean, we got to do it. We played Pee Wee League, middle school, high school. I mean, the next thing is college, and then obviously we wanted to go make it to the pros, but he had to retire, and you know, it's just life happens.
So they called and you said you ain't going unless your boy's going.
Yeah, I can't talk to
That's
him
crazy
unless-
loyalty right
Yeah.
there.
That's
And,
legit,
Cool.
dude.
And
At
they-
a big school like that.
And kudos to him because they offered me a full, and they offered him like a gray shirt, meaning he would have to pay for his first year, and then he would have to earn his next 3-year scholarship. And we talked about it. I remember me, him, and another good buddy of mine, and my dad, we drove to Knoxville on an unofficial visit, and we just talked it all out because we were trying to figure out the next 4 years of our life. Like, we're trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm like, we're just kind of like just putting everything out there, talking. He's like, yeah, bro, like I can get up there and I can you know, hold my own.
So what did they tell you in that meeting?
What do you mean?
Like Tennessee.
So they offered me the full, offered him the gray shirt.
Yeah.
We talked it out. I think it was probably 3 or 4 weeks after that. I flipped from Vanderbilt and committed to Tennessee, and then he committed to Tennessee as well.
Was Vanderbilt sad?
I mean, it is what it is, bro. It's a business.
Had some tears.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about that whole college world now is, you know, these coaches are they have families they got to take care of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they have a career that they got to scale, and you know, they have opportunities that they just can't pass up.
Unless you Nick Saban.
Unless you're Nick Saban,
You got the next 20 years on contract.
bro, and Josh Heupel too. Shout out Hype. That boy's, I mean, got Tennessee rolling right now.
Yeah.
He brings a natty to Tennessee the next 2 years. Glenn built statue.
You wish you were playing under him?
Boy, I'd love to be.
Yeah.
I'd love to be there right now.
Mm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my experience. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, those boys are having some fun,
So did you? I
and they're
mean,
getting paid too.
does it work?
A lot of money.
That's real.
A lot
That
of money.
happened probably right after
2
you got
years.
out. Yeah.
2 years after.
Yeah.
2 years after I left.
Yeah. So
And
what do you think about that,
Bro, I wouldn't have been bringing in crazy amounts of money. I might have made a little bit of something.
Bro, you
but,
don't
know,
know that. You don't
I
know
might.
that.
I mean, I was a starter. You know, my
Yeah.
last 2 years. Probably could have made a little bit of money. But
Bro, you could have had a Fortnite skin.
maybe would have been
Come
out
on.
there doing the emotes.
But don't you think that's a little crazy though, man? Because like
It's insane.
they should have at least had some sort of grandfathering in. Like they just kind of like, you know, you get out of school and like 2 years later they're like, all right, time to be rich to everybody who's there.
I mean,
like, did you not feel like a little backhanded
They-
by that whole, you know, deal?
they had this like cost of attendance thing to where like based on like how big your school was, you got a certain amount of money every month. But that was like money you could probably go eat with or
Right.
take a girl to the movies or something or whatever you want to do with your money in college.
It's not enough.
I mean, bro. And now you've got guys. I mean, that might have been $500. I can't remember honestly, but it was like maybe $500 or $600. Whenever they gave it to us. I don't think it was that.
No.
Now these kids are signing 7-figure deals.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
Kudos to them though, because
Yeah.
I mean, you get hurt or anything like that in college, at least.
Mm-hmm. You got
get
something to fall back
some
on.
type of
Yeah.
compensation.
And you
from
know,
it.
notice the background some of these kids are coming from as well. I mean, that money
Right.
could instantly change a family's
100%.
entire life.
Yeah, but it could instantly destroy somebody's life too, man. 'Cause
Yeah,
just
I
as
mean-
much as like good as money can do, it can also do a lot of bad.
Yeah, and I mean that's why you got to have. I mean that's why the parents in the home are
Yeah.
always going to be the key for me.
Right.
Like if you have
But what
a
if
good-
there is no parents in the home?
exactly,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
then
That's
somebody.
like
I mean, that somebody's going to have to fulfill that guardian role and be
Right.
like, "Hey, at least you trust me enough to come to me and ask me these questions, and I know enough to tell you what to do with your money and what not to
Right.
do with your money."
Yeah. See, I think honestly, man, like I wanted to know your opinion on it because, like, being at a school like that, having the ability to like make that money that a lot of people are making now, and just being so close to when they changed that rule, bro. Like that's a big thing, man. Like imagine if you were there, when they had that rule going on. Like,
Look. I'm so happy for those guys that are making money right now. And I had my experience, and my experience is mine, bro. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
yeah, and it's
If you
yours.
give me $50,000 in college my senior year, who knows where I am?
And see, that's my
Right.
point, man. It's
like
when
we didn't have that I guess structure of they're getting educated on how to spend the money, how to invest, and how to save. It would have been wild west with us.
But you give that much, like, ability to make money, or you give that much money to somebody. You see this happen a lot with, like, athletes that go to, like, the NBA or to the league or whatever, that, like, their first year, second year, just lose their minds. Like, I'm not going to name names, but, there's a lot of instances where, they do some pretty stupid crap and mess their lives up because all that money just comes with a lot of responsibilities and a lot of snakes and a lot of downfalls.
Yep.
And is it necessarily a smart thing to where now like a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, in high school going into college can make that much money before they even touch the league? Because that was kind of the appeal of college ball. Before that, it's like, all right, these people are out here fighting because they love the game or they want the opportunity to go pro.
Yep.
Either one.
Yep.
And it gave you such a pure angle to college sports, and that's why a lot of times we've had this discussion is that, like, a lot of people liked watching college ball more because in the pros, like, you see it year after year when they get that check, you know what I'm saying? It kind of changes things.
But you got to think, you got some of these kids that are literally grinding every day of the year,
Right.
just to be on the field.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these universities are making billions upon billions of dollars and TV deals that
Right.
out the wazoo. So like, there's a lot of money that was going to other places that I think should have definitely been going towards
True.
the players
Right.
because they're the ones that are out there grinding, practicing,
Yeah.
bringing the
They're
fans.
the face that's bringing it in.
Yeah.
I always thought it was cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not an athlete, but if it was me, I would have wanted it. I would have felt some type of way about
Yeah,
it.
but
I
you
mean-
know the NIL deals, they ain't going to that kid that's a walk-on and having
No,
to pay to go play
no,
football.
of course
They're
not.
going to the kids that have been scouted 5 stars since they've been in high school or whatever,
They're
and
paying-
have more money than
right.
they know what to do with. And the university's probably not giving any more scholarships than they were before.
No.
They're seeing that as like money they could be making,
Mhm.
off of the name of Tennessee or whatever.
Yep.
And now it's just, players on the team making it. So is it really doing that much good,
I mean, is it doing good? Is it doing bad? I mean,
Yeah.
you can argue that with everything in the world.
True, that's true.
I think that honestly, I think it's fair now. Honestly, I mean, when I say fair, I don't mean fair as I don't think the quarterback should be making $1 million and the walk-on not be able to pay for his meal. Like,
Right.
like that part of it is going to be what it is. That's just the
Yeah.
way the world is.
That's just life.
If you are whoever you are, you're
Yeah.
gonna make all this money, and if you're not, then it's just what it is. But you've got guys that are making that money that are at least gonna come down and help the walk on, maybe pay for his meals throughout the week or do something. I know that's going on as
Yeah.
well. The guys that are making the money are at least helping some of it filtrate
Comes
back.
down to character.
Yeah, it comes
Yeah.
down to character, bro. And I mean, those guys they don't owe those guys anything.
Yeah.
But it's just a respect thing. Like I see you out here grinding with me,
Right.
doing all this stuff.
Right.
you don't have the means to, or you can't do what you want to do on the field to make this type of money, but I can.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of step in.
Well, I've seen it as like the main argument that, you know, and I'm on neither side because like I don't have a dog in the fight, but the main argument is like, you know, the college is paying for your education, your degree, your food. Yeah. You're getting those little refund checks and stuff like that help with, you know, some things, and it's like they're giving you the opportunity to go to the pros.
Yeah.
And that is like in itself what the value of that team is. And so now there's like this whole wave of like people feeling more entitled, you know, like athletes feeling more entitled. They're like, oh, this school ain't doing nothing for me, it's all me type deal. Where back in the day, you know, you get a letter from Tennessee, Alabama, or anything like that, and they're like, this could change my life. If I keep my head on straight, I work hard, do this thing, I have the opportunity to change my life. Now it's like, well, if I go to this school and, you know, make some TikToks, probably could be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying that's what people say.
That's where I wonder, like, if we're gonna see the most repercussions from that, like as far as going into pro, like how's that gonna affect how everybody's playing, mindset around it. The entitlement's already there before you even get there, like you're saying, how it grows once you're you know, in the NFL and everything like that. But if it's already there before, I don't know, pro ball is gonna go.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts.
I mean, these kids are told they're the best of the best from middle school. I mean, they're highly recruited in middle school now, go to high school, 5-star, you know, eventually go to the pros. They're gonna make their money. Yeah. And I think that it at least makes it fair to where that work doesn't go unrewarded if something happens as far as injury or whatever the case may be. You know, because some of these kids are talented and they work to get to a certain point in their lives, and if they can get paid for it, man, it's legal.
Right.
Why not? You know? I mean, I'm all about the next man getting paid, especially the younger kids.
Right. So you get the call from Tennessee, you and your boy, like, we're going, your boy's going to take the gray shirt. What is it like day one?
Phew.
You step on campus.
I remember our first, like, actual, like, leg workout. And
so day one, y'all are hitting legs,
bro.
Like we ain't even, you know, watching film.
And like I pulled both my hamstrings coming out of high school. So I'm like, and they're not even letting me squat for like the first four or 5 months. So I mean, I'm just on the leg press. They're squatting heavy, bro. And then we're running as well. And the running, we had a strength coach, Dave Lawson. He's actually at ETSU now. Shout out Dave. He's a great guy, but he had some shits. I mean, some crazy workouts. I mean, it was, and his thing was, you know, load the bar up, put as much weight on there as you can, and you know, it just wasn't really conducive to the conditioning part of it after, you know. Yeah. Legs were dead, you know, but that first workout, I mean, it was tough, bro. I remember looking at Devon like, "Hey, you sure you want to do this? Like, this is real. Like, we're here now." And he was like, "Man, I mean, we're here now. We got to do it." And I think just like, you know, when you're in that space, you have to go to practice. You have to go. You have expectation that you have to fulfill, and that kind of builds that consistency in that. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it kind of got easier as it went on, but it was still rough, bro. It was still rough. But you know, first year he works his way into the starting role, playing nickel cornerback, kind of safety-ish in the slot. And, I mean, has a great year. Pick 6 against Florida, returns a block punt against Georgia, you know, earns his scholarship for the next 3 years. So he's good. You know, he's good. You know, me, I didn't really see the field as much my first year, a little bit of special team stuff.
Did you know, like, your first year, were they like, you're going to be at defensive back?
Yeah. When we first got to campus, they were like, we're going to have you all, you know, playing DB, and then we'll see how it goes, you know. And we were just happy to be at Tennessee.
I feel like that's a great saying for somebody who's like just trying to get, you know, the blame off of them. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, they like hindsight 2020, they definitely had their mind made up on putting us on the defensive side of the ball.
Basically though, like, to me, man, I think that's the hardest position on the field. So they're basically saying, all right, you've been a receiver your whole life. Yeah. You played quarterback as a backup to save your team your senior year. Yeah. Now we're going to throw you into D1 University of Tennessee cornerback.
And it's not like we're seeing 5-star receivers every week when we're in high school. Yeah. I mean, me and Devon, nobody really threw on the corners. You know, it was pretty much we're jamming guys out of bounds. Debo's putting guys in the dirt. You know, it's just like we're not really being taught like actual technique on how to press and do all this stuff. We're just out there playing bully ball.
Jeez.
And getting our way. And then we get to college, and then these 5'10", these 5'10", 150-pound receivers turn into 6'2", 200, 215, 220, and we're like, okay, now it's time to go. So I think that whole transition, we were a little bit behind just in the competition that we had seen before getting there. Right. But I mean, we still competed. You know, we still. You know,
y'all still balled out.
We still held our own. Yeah, I mean, in that world, I mean, kind of like Marshawn Lynch said, you're gonna get got. You just gotta get yours.
Find out. Exactly. You're gonna find out.
You're gonna get got, but you gotta make sure you get yours more than you get got.
So do you feel like, you know, if they would have put you in the receiver role, or even like a quarterback role, like a backup quarterback or something like that, that you would have it would have been different? Or do you think it was just the way it goes?
I mean, it's just the way it goes. You know, I could have, just the way that I think, I would have been successful.
At any position.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They could have put me a long snapper. I would have tried to be the best long snapper. You know, just that sort of mindset. Yeah. But like, growing up, I had the same pride in as playing defensive back as I did playing offense. I wanted to get picks and tackles and all that stuff the same way I wanted to score. You know, scoring is just you have more fun when you score.
Right.
Always.
But you know, the whole mindset of just being the best at whatever I could be was my whole thing.
So what was like? Okay, so day one, what was it like in day to day? Like in the life of like a D1 athlete at UT, like what was like the day-to-day life schedule like?
So I'll just kind of work through my first year. Our summer is mainly just workouts, early morning workouts, and then you have like summer school, obviously. And then that kind of transitioned into like practices and, you know, one-on-ones, development type work. Coaches are out recruiting. You're just at the facility grinding with the guys. Coaches come back. We kind of get into more spring practice. Does that make sense? And then it's just more full-blown football, seeing who's going to be on the field.
Right.
So summer, you got mainly workouts. Spring, you know, you're trying to figure out what you got on the team, with you know workouts and stuff, all that included. And then just when you get into the school year, it's a grind, bro. Wake up, go to study hall or class in the morning, go to meetings in the afternoon, practice, more meetings, then you go home.
I've always been impressed with athletes in that manner, as far as like the amount that you guys have to do in a day, the time management, the discipline that you have to have with your schedule. At this point, would you say it's lasted, you know, the discipline that you had to gain as an athlete, has that poured into a lot of the other areas of your life now that you're out of college and all that?
Most definitely. And that's kind of what I alluded to earlier when I was saying, like, when we first got on campus, those workouts were tough, bro. We had never seen anything like that.
Right.
So, like, just having that consistency to go into something knowing that it's going to suck, knowing that you're probably going to fail at something, but just doing it anyways, and just continuing to do that has definitely built up a resiliency just in my mindset, because I'll have a bad day and just kind of our whole thing was snap and clear, you know, forget about it, next thing. And I've really had to do that in life, just, you know, getting older. You know how life goes.
Yeah.
You know, you got your ups and your downs, and you just got to continue to keep that level ahead of, okay, something might have went the way I wanted it to or not the way I wanted it to, but I still got to attack the next day, you know, the way I did yesterday.
Right on.
So that whole consistency has definitely been built to me, for sure.
100%.
On the real, man, like, do you feel like there is a dark side to D1, like, sports? Like, you know, I mean,
is there a dark side?
You know,
is there an evil?
Listen, no, I'm telling you, man.
Dun.
Like, what is the side of it that people don't see? You know what I'm saying? Like, we see, like, the college game day, see y'all balling out on the field, like, when you're on YouTube, but what's the side of, like, the you know, sport that we don't see?
Every school, every coaching staff is different. So I can only speak to the coaching staff that I had in my experience. There's like a lot of pressure going into, you know, a new space. Whether you're going into a new school, like a new high school, or graduating and going to college, you're going to have that sort of anxiety. And when you say a dark side, I don't think there's a dark side. I think there's just some things that you have to deal with that come with it. You know, like
Right.
you're not gonna be able to see your family all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna be able to have the best social life if you want to be successful. You can go out there and party all you want to, and do whatever you want, but you're not gonna see success on the field. And you might, but eventually time's gonna run its course and it's gonna catch back up to you.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man, because John Jones, he be doing like cocaine.
Look,
knocking
but
people
see,
out.
John Jones is a fighter. You know,
And
he's
cocaine is one hell of a drug.
cocaine.
You never, hey, out of everybody, you don't want to fight a crackhead.
Bro, you don't want to fight a crackhead. I don't know why people keep on signing up to fight that man. I mean, he submitted that dude in what, 2 minutes?
Bruh, that was dirty. After he just got kicked in the balls, too.
It was. I mean, I would never step in the octagon
Yeah.
with John Jones.
But, I mean, to the point, man, is like, but is there a side to it that, like, we don't see? Like, I've heard a lot of times that it can be, like, hyper political.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
super political. Like, maybe not the best man gets the position every time.
Yeah.
Or, like, the coaches are doing things just out of spite and
right,
things like that.
yeah, and you're talking to someone that's had to deal with that since middle school. You know, so like going into college and even the pros and seeing guys that aren't halfway near talented as they need to be in that position are there because they might know a certain person or be
Right.
with this type of agency or whatever the case may be.
Right.
There are guys that are getting opportunities that might deserve them, but there's definitely somebody out there that's way more qualified,
Right.
and that's in anything.
It sounds
That's
to
in
me
anything.
like you're just getting a taste of real life a bit earlier than a lot of college students.
Bro,
Because, I mean,
Yeah.
like you're saying with the, your time, your schedule, being able to see family as much, being able
Yeah.
to hang out with friends as much. Like, you can do all those things, but you're not going to be as successful just like in your career and everything.
Yeah.
And you're experiencing the politics of it all, because that's the same in any type of hierarchy, job,
Bro.
whatever. There's going to be favorites. There's going to
Yeah.
be
Money influence.
there's outside bias in there. So
Yeah.
So did you have any like specific like coaches or coaching staff that just had a target on your back?
You know, when I was in the mix, I felt like I did have a target on my back. Hindsight 2020, I probably brought a lot of that unneeded attention on myself. And that was me having to grow up and realize, like, this guy might have had it out for me, but it was only because I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing, or I was giving him trouble, so he had to, that sort of thing. And I've had to grow up in that sense. Like, college is different than high school because your high school coaches, majority of them don't know shit, honestly. But they're great guys, they're great people, and they're willing to teach you whatever they know. When you get to college, this coach is trying to coach you to get you to succeed so he can eventually, work them into the ranks. And I know there are a lot of coaches that are there for personal development for those kids, and they want to just see kids succeed. I'm not saying that that's, the whole part of it, but I'm saying that there are coaches out there that want to see success from players because they know that success will breed them more success. And that's just the same as you recruiting somebody on because you see some spunk in a young kid, you want to bring him onto your company because he's going to bring some money.
Sure.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just I think that there's different ways of how you handle certain situations.
Right.
Like if you're trying to demean someone or just kind of make someone feel like they're less than who they are. I don't really think that should be a part of coaching. You're there to instruct somebody and correct them when they're wrong. You don't need to make them feel less than.
Right.
But that's definitely part of it. I mean, you gotta have thick skin, bro.
Right.
I've been cussed at since I was in middle school. I mean, it's never gotten to me. And my coaches might have thought that coach, cussing and yelling, and doing all that stuff was gonna get to me, bro. I could care less. You can yell at me all you want to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Ice cold.
Like football has definitely opened up a lot of doors for me, and I love it. But never at a point in time was football just my life. And, right or wrong, it's just, I love life. I love being able to hang out with friends, but I also have the mindset that I'm going to grind out whatever I got to grind out. So,
Right. So, would you say, how wild were y'all getting over there at UT? Were y'all, stupid wild?
come on, bro.
Y'all rizzing it up?
Our first 2 years were our growing up phase. I'll just say that. Where we had to really realize, there's certain things that you probably shouldn't do, and there's certain things that you probably should stay away from. And that's
college.
That's college, you know. But I mean, there were wild parties. There were, you know, there was some stuff that we can't speak about on camera. But at the end of the day, we all made sure everybody was, you know, level-headed in the sense that nobody was just out there just partying every weekend, going crazy.
Yeah.
You know, we were very, I guess, meticulous about how we did things. We weren't just. We would get stupid some weekends. Yeah. We would get stupid, but we would get stupid in a very smart way. Responsible way.
We're smart stupid for sure.
So I know like there's like a high level of accountability when you are an athlete, like at a program like that. So like I know, like I've heard that you have people who like take you to class and stuff. Is that true?
That was the case for some folks because they wouldn't go to class unless they had somebody taking them to, which is so rare to me because I grew up in a household to where you did what you were told, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There were some kids that just weren't going to class, and like counselors calling them, coaches calling them, teammates calling them, and they're just like, I'm not going. Like, I did not come here to go to school. I came here to play football. And, you know, that's just part of it. You know, that's just part of growing up.
So did y'all have, like, a special cafeteria?
So, our first year, we had Stokely, which got torn down. That was kind of where our lunch hall was. And it was right next to the complex. They tore it down, and then we went on, like, these, like, meal vouchers where we had, like, little spots around, like, downtown that we could hit up. And then, they would give us like V-Bucks. I think that's what they're called, Vol-Bucks, that you could, you know, use on campus.
Like on Fortnite? V-Bucks?
Something like Vol-Bucks. That's what they were called.
Bro, I thought you were about to say y'all had your own cafeteria like the football team did. Is that what you're saying?
So
that is what he's saying.
Going into my sophomore or junior year, I can't remember, but they built Stokely Hall underneath the complex, which was pretty much a cafeteria for just athletes.
No way.
Just athletes.
Boo.
And you know, chefs there between this time and that time.
Then y'all had chefs.
I need 50 grams of protein.
I mean, I was part of the breakfast club where you had to. They were like guys that had to gain weight.
Yeah,
bro. 4 pieces of bacon, 4 pieces of sausage.
Yeah.
French toast, 4 eggs.
I'm hungry.
And potatoes. And you had to finish it before you went to class.
So who was watching you though?
Our strength coaches.
Oh, they were watching you eat.
You would sit. It was like a little.
Now go
club,
run.
Honestly, breakfast club. It was. We go in there. Everybody mosey out in there. You had to be there at a certain time because if you had class at 8:30, you had to be in there by 7 or whatever the case was. So.
Did y'all have like that 300-pound lineman in there for no reason? Like, why are you here, bro?
I'm hungry.
we had some guys in there that
didn't gain no weight.
Exactly. Yeah, guys in there that definitely didn't need to gain no weight. I don't know why I was in there, but yeah, it was funny.
That's crazy, man. So what would you say is like the craziest story that you had?
Crazy. Okay.
Like on the field, off the field, like whatever.
Yeah. I'll say we so it was summer workouts. I believe my freshman or sophomore year, and it was summer workouts going into our break, where we would pretty much be done for about a week or two, and we came in that morning, lifted. I think we just lifted. Went to class, that afternoon, and then we did our conditioning that evening. And we ran 52 110-yard sprints.
Jeez.
And that was probably the wildest experience.
What did y'all do, bro?
Didn't do anything. It was just part of our conditioning. And the record was 49. He wanted to run a 52. And I just remember just running, not even feeling my legs.
I was running.
literally.
Jeez,
it got to the point where we were just out there just to be out there.
Yeah.
Like we were getting no benefit from what was going on.
Right.
So that was probably one of the craziest experiences that I can speak about on camera.
Jeez. That you can speak about on camera. Yeah. So was it like all love and respect for the coaching staff? Or do you feel like there should have been some changes when you were there?
I battled with that growing up. Just kind of like, if this guy wouldn't have been like this or this guy wouldn't have been like that. At the end of the day, we had great coaches who were great men, and they, they coached us in a way that we needed to be coached at that point in time. I really do believe that.
Did they tell you to say that?
There were some coaches that would get out there and say some crazy things that they said what they said, and I feel like if something's said in a locker room setting and it's said in that space, it's not really meant for public ears.
Yeah.
Unless it's something just absolutely wild, like I'm about to go kill somebody.
Right.
Should probably elect the authorities. But
bro, that reminds me. Did y'all? And this was wild. I thought it was fake. That video or recording of Kirby from this past season in the locker room where he's just sailor mouthing it like crazy.
Oh yeah.
You heard that one?
Uh-huh.
You never hear him talk like that ever. So I was like, is this real? I felt bad for him that got out, but like you're saying. Sometimes the boys need a bit of talking to.
Knowing the coaching scene, Kirby could probably care less at that guy.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean.
So what were like the perks, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, around the school and stuff, did y'all have that chip? You know what I'm saying? Like, were you guys like a proud team? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You got to think, around my first 2 years, we weren't really that good. I mean, we were okay. And Tennessee was a big school. We had,
y'all switched out coaches.
Vol
and
Nation,
stuff
we had
for a bit.
We had a little revolving door of coaches. And Butch came in.
Y'all went through it for a little while.
We were building. We were building for a while.
That's a good way to put it. I like
that. We had to build those. Had to build.
Yeah,
that's a good.
Y'all
word.
were the ones laying the foundation.
Sure.
For real though.
Brick by brick.
For real.
Brick by brick, baby. Built that foundation.
So talk to me real quick, man.
We sure did.
I want to know, because I know we've known each other for a long time.
Yep.
And our story goes back, man, to like just 2019, like me first getting into ball and just like looking for somebody to coach me.
Yeah, man.
And just God worked it out. I didn't find that out till later, but when I had called D1 for a coach, it was like your first 2 weeks.
Bro,
and God just put us together, man. You had just came back from Canada, I think.
Yes.
And so we got together. You helped me before I even knew how to step through a ladder, before I could catch a pass.
I wish I had that film, bro.
Man, we got plenty of film, bro.
I wish I had the film from when we first started.
I really would like to
to
see that. Right. That'd be nice.
I remember the saying. I'll never forget when I was we were training right before he moved out. He was like, we were doing these passes at the end of training, and I was like catching one-handed passes. Like I just kept catching one-handed passes, and I was like acting all hot, like I was like and he was like, bruh, I remember when you couldn't catch with two hands. And I was like, bruh, like he had to bring me down. But anyway, we go way back, man.
Yeah.
You're one of my best friends, and I've really had so much respect for you, man, and just like the journey that you went on. And I think something that I've always wanted to know about, and like for you to expand on, because I know you've fought your whole life for this dream and for the things that you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You played lights out at Tennessee. Like there's so many highlights of you making those like hustle plays. Like that's what you were kind of known for. Was like when they're already gone and everybody's giving up on the play, that's when you turn the jets on and you're like, this is where I shine. And just getting those last minute hits to knock the balls out or whatever it is. And you really were a game changer and played really hard. And so I know your journey post Tennessee, like that was like a thing that was a big mountain for you to climb, and the ups and downs that you went through, like during the draft and like getting the call after the draft and all that. Like, what was like the end of your career at Tennessee like the last year or two when you're finally comfortable in your position, and then like that transition into your eyes being on the pros and everything you had to go through, everything that happened in that story.
Yeah, man. So I'll say, going into my junior year, when I knew that I was going to have a role on the team, like a legit role, is really when I started to kind of hone in on like the preparation that came with it, and just having the mindset that I was not going to allow my next 2 years to be like my last 2 years was really the driving factor for me, because I kind of had, I guess, underwhelmed myself because I thought I was going to come in and just break out, do all these great things, and first 2 years haven't really done anything. So I had a chip on my shoulder to kind of prove to myself and prove to everybody that was around me, coaches, players, fans, that I was, capable of being there and producing, at that level. So just having that mindset is really kind of what drove me to kind of continue just to press on and press on and press on. And no matter what I was going through, you know, whether during Tennessee or after Tennessee, we were going to keep it going.
Right. So you get into your senior year, you're doing pro days and all that stuff. You're aiming to go to the league and everything. And like, walk me through that story, man, because I know like the story of you picking up a position, right? Just like freshman year, new position, never played it, complete opposite side of the ball.
Yeah.
And then your grind to go to the pros, and then everything that you had to go through during that, the injuries, all the different issues. So like, what was it like leading up, you know, playing your senior year, leading up to the draft, and like everything that came with that?
So going into my senior year, it was really just me making a statement that I could play at the next level. That was my whole thing. So I put some pretty good film on, you know, something that I was proud of. I feel like I could have made more plays to kind of give my name a little bit more oomph, but you know, it is what it is. And then after my senior year, Cody, who I kind of alluded to earlier, Cody Sensabaugh, he would train with Tony Villani down in Boca Raton. And me and Devon had been going to see Tony since our, I think, spring break of our sophomore year in college. So we've been going to him once or twice throughout the year just to get some skill work, just to be down there with Cody. So as soon as I left Tennessee, I went to Boca, you know, and for me, my agent wasn't able just to pay for everything that I was doing. Right. So he was able to pay for, I think, the first half of my training, and then I was able to make enough money to kind of pay for the second half. And then Tony Villani, shout out Tony.
Shout out Tony.
He definitely blessed me with some great connections that kind of got me with some living situations where I could kind of live down there and not have to pay rent or anything, and just kind of be down there in training. So when I was down there training, my whole mindset was just focused on developing myself on and off the field. So on the field, I was in the training room, in the gym, you know, working on my craft. Outside of that, it was more or less me just kind of getting into the Word, being more intentional about reading the Word, being in my Bible, kind of cutting out all the distractions. And I think me being down, because I lived in Fort Lauderdale and then would drive 30 minutes to Boca to train, I think having that 30-minute drive and then just being kind of isolated from all the craziness, all the noise, kind of helped me just kind of get more centered in on what I wanted to do.
Right.
And who I wanted to be too. Because I was kind of coming from a place where leaving college, kind of stepping into this grown man type of life, right, where it's time to tighten up some stuff, you know, right, kind of leave some stuff to the side, leave some friends to the side, you know, and then just kind of get more focused on what Malik has to do.
I got you. So what was it like with the whole, because I know your career after Tennessee, like, you went through the draft, you got the call from the Texans, correct?
Yep.
Walk me through that story, man, of like the mentality that you had going through that, the mindset, because I know that's a story for a lot of people who go to the league, do well in the league, and some people who never get to the league. And so what was that process like? Because you were balling out at Tennessee, you were going hard, you were doing good, and personally, man, I think like a lot of that comes down to the people and the coaching staff that you have around you. You know, sometimes we like schools can short people out and what they do to help promote people and do things, or like same thing with the political thing. So like, what was that experience like, man? Because that's an experience like you could make a movie on, of like what you had to go through with the whole draft and then your situation after with the injuries and stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't know that side of you, of like what you battled to get what you wanted, and maybe how God redirected stuff.
So after the draft, the Texans call me. They want to, bring me in for rookie mini camp. So I fly down there that next week, do the whole physical eval with their team doctors, that whole thing, and their head team doctor doesn't want to clear me because I have a disc bulge in my neck. So I stay there the whole week of rookie mini camp. I think it's like a short week or a weekend, and then they fly me out to LA to get checked out by this neck specialist. And they're pretty much like, if this guy gives you the okay, then we'll go ahead and push you through, and then you can kind of, get back on, business as usual. Go out there. The guy does the eval on me. He kind of talks to me like, I don't really feel comfortable. I'm begging and pleading with this guy, this is my shot, this is my opportunity, and he's just like, there's too much of a risk going on with your neck and your shoulder strength and all this stuff. I can't clear you, pretty much. He said he couldn't morally, do it, because if something were to happen to me out there, then he'd feel like he was responsible. So I fly back home, battling every type of emotion that you could think of.
Yeah,
Anger, confusion, just sadness. I wouldn't say I just fell into depression, but I fell into a place where I was just like, why is this happening?
Right.
Like, why is this going on? So I get with a guy named Greg Cross at Watauga Orthopedics in Kingsport. He does my rehab for I think 2.5 to 3 months. So during that whole OTA mini camp type deal, so everybody's kind of working to get on a team now. And I'm at home just pedaling this arm bike, trying to get my my shoulders stronger.
Yeah.
So I finished on my rehab with Greg. He gives me the okay to fly back out to California. So, Houston flew me out the first time. I'm having to fly myself out the second time. Find somewhere, get a room and all that stuff. So that part of it was, I wasn't working. I was just rehabbing and training, trying to stay on my game. So I fly out to LA, beg this guy again, to clear me. He eventually does, which is a blessing. And then my agent works some stuff out to where the Saints want to bring me in for a workout that next week. I go down there. There's like 7 or 8 DBs, there with me, and they're only gonna take one. So we do a couple of drills for about 35, 40 minutes. Bring us into the locker room. They call me up like, hey, we like what we saw. We're gonna bring you on the team. Probably the best news I ever got, because I'm sitting in the locker room like I felt good because I had been preparing for all that stuff. I was ready. It was just about if they thought I was ready, if they saw something in me, they're like, okay, we'll bring this guy back, which they did, which was was huge.
Yeah.
Just for me personally, just kind of being knocked down, that was a good pick me up. Finished the whole preseason out with them. Didn't really do as much on special teams as I probably should have. And I think that was ultimately why I didn't make the team, but I was doing the best that I could to be on that team. Offense, not offense, but defensively, learning the plays, trying to show up on film, making plays, and then getting as much special teams reps that I could get, that whole thing. So they didn't see enough of me to bring me back. So after the final cut, the 53-man, the final cut, they let me go. And then I go back to Kingsport, and I think it's about a month or two period, and then I get picked up by a team out in Winnipeg up in Canada to play for the TFL. And their whole thing is you got like 3-week period where you're pretty much there, kind of like a training camp, and then they do their cuts too, and then they form their team. First day of camp, we're in one-on-ones, and I turn my ankle funny, high ankle sprain, and I can't do a thing. So I fly back home, and it's I think 2 years I've been out of college now, and it's time to start working. I've got bills, I've got just things that got to get going. There's been too much of a halting on this for me to continue to go, because now I'm bringing other people involved, and I don't want to be a detriment to anybody.
Yeah,
for sure. Want to always stand on my own too. At the end of the day, so. But
that's just, man. That in itself is just a testament to like your relationship with God, your faith, and just your mentality. Because like that ride, man, is like, it seems like every chance you had in football, God put a mountain in front of you. Like, I mean, seriously, like even going into your senior year, it's like, oh, you thought you were a receiver? Nah, you're a quarterback, bro. And then you're playing quarterback that whole season, and then you're excelling at that. You're like throwing for 600 yards that season, 17 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 rushing touchdowns. You got many things going on. Then you get to Tennessee, and it's like, we're going to bring you on. We're going to bring your friend that you want with you. But we need you to play a totally different position, and a position that most people think is probably the hardest position on the field. But now you're going to play it at the highest level of your age. And then you battle through that journey. You get to your senior year, and it's like you got to watch the whole entire draft knowing that you should be up there in that first round because of your talent, your skill. Yep. You look back on a lot of people who made it in that class to the NFL who never even saw the field that were nowhere near as qualified as you, man. Like, I've watched the film, I've seen the stats, and then you get that call at the end, and that call is the Texans, and you're like, this is God, right?
Yeah.
Fly you out to Texas, and that doctor won't clear you.
Yeah, man.
And then you go and beg this dude in California, hey, clear me, man. Like, I can do this. This is my destiny. And then all of a sudden, you back home. And you're flying yourself out to California. And all these mountains that were put in front of you, even making it, hey, there's 7 DBs out here. Yep. You know how hard it is to beat 7 or 6 other players who've been training and want this thing just as much as you on the professional level? That's tough. You beat them out, and then you get your opportunity, and then they're like, nah, you're not what we're looking for. Yeah. You might be good, but you're just not what they were looking for.
Exactly.
And so then you got to face the reality of, like, these mountains that were put in front of you, man. To me, I feel like God is doing something so crazy with your life. I do too. Like, ever since the first day I met you, I felt like I already knew you. Yeah. Like, it was one of the craziest deja vu moments I ever had when me and you sat down in that office. And I was like, I need a trainer. I felt like I had known you my whole life. Yeah. Like, I felt like I was looking back 60 years, in the future, and, like, knew that this was going to happen, like it happened in a past life. But I know what that is it's turning you into a machine because all you know is the grind.
That's it.
God's putting the toughest obstacles in front of you, bro. Whether it was in high school, Tennessee, professional football, he's making you beg these doctors to clear you, and then they clear you, then you make the team, and then that door is closed. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself, man, that journey that you went on, like, to me, that is like the testament of, like, what it means to live. Because you got these opportunities, these dreams, these talents, and you're giving it 100%, and God's putting these opportunities and redirecting and redirecting and redirecting. And I think in 10 years, man, whether or not God takes you back to football or if he takes you completely in another direction, you're going to look back and say, God is great. Because what he created you to be is a machine, man. Machine. All you know is the grind,
bro. That's it, bro. That's it. God has been the only thing that's gotten me through this whole journey in life, from relationship with my family to relationship with friends to just my whole career path. I mean, being kind of centered and not being perfect by any means. I definitely have my faults.
We knew you were wild up there.
And my mistakes. I
went to school in Cleveland, and I still heard about Malik over there balling out, going wild in Tennessee. But yeah, man, I think it's a great story, man, and really the cool thing about it is that you stayed diligent this whole time, and I think there's a lot of guys in your class, man, that went on to play in different leagues, whether it's overseas, the NFL, or whatever, and there's some of them that didn't, and I think a lot of people that did, sometimes their life didn't turn out to be what it should have been. I think people had opportunities, people that thought should have done well didn't, and people who didn't, did. And sometimes it's the cards that we're handed, but it's what we do with the cards, right? Exactly. It's what we're willing to bet, what we're willing to sacrifice, man. So I think your story, bro, is like one of the most incredible stories in sports. Like, it's just like the Inky Johnson story, man. Like, Inky was set to do all these great things, and it's crazy that you guys went to the same, university. But, like, what he's doing now is what he was actually meant to do. Right. It is 10 times greater than if he would have played in the NFL. Because he would not have been the same man. He would not have had the same voice. He would not have changed the same amount of lives. Exactly. And I think for you, maybe, it's hard to see right now because you're in the middle of the storm. But that sky after a storm, how beautiful that can be. And I think that's where you're headed, bro. Like,
you preaching right now, bro.
You're
preaching a little bit.
Hey, we're going to pass around the offering plate here in a minute.
For real, though. I mean, that's huge. I know, like, we've talked about this a ton. When it feels like God's setting you up for something huge, and then all of a sudden that door closes. From what I've seen, at least thus far in my life, almost always it has been better one way or the other. And I guess what I'd ask here is, like, the comparison trap is a huge thing that high performers fall into of any area of life, be it whatever career you're in, right? So that's a huge thing I'm sure you've had to deal with. Just mindset in general of having to cope with and deal with all the opposition that you've gone through, and then now where you're at now. Be it advice for young athletes or just anybody dealing with comparison, or maybe just not feeling like they've gone where they wanted to. Like, what are some things that you've done mindset wise? I know you said you've been digging into the word, but tell us a little bit more about that, especially for young athletes.
Yeah. So this thing that I've been doing actually this past week is just waking up, and the first thing I do is open my Bible app. Me and my girlfriend have this deal where we have a plan that's on the Bible app, and we kind of do the old middle school thing. I'll read a paragraph, she'll read a paragraph.
That's what's up.
And we just kind of dive into the devotional part of it.
You get nervous before your paragraph? I would always be so nervous.
I'm a great reader now.
Let's go.
Shoot.
I used to be awful.
Yeah, no, I'm awful.
I used to like sweat when I read.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you know your turn was coming up and you start mispronouncing stuff in your head before.
Bro, you start messing up words like at and I gotta know that word.
The duck might swim on the lake.
I watched that movie a couple days.
Hey, that's a good movie.
It's classic.
Hey.
But
Anyway, y'all been swapping paragraphs.
Yeah, so we do the whole devotional thing in the morning, and that's been just a good way for me to like just kind of center in on the day, you know, like because I'm the first one to tell you, I was the first one to wake up and go straight to my phone, Instagram, TikTok,
Guilty, bro.
Whatever it is, and just waking up having the mindset that I'm gonna dive into this first, kind of just center my day around this, has helped kind of with my whole approach through the rest of the day. It's less chaotic. I'm more organized, more intentional, and I think that's the word I'll give you. I've been way more intentional about just how I move and how I do things because I'm more centered in the word when I first wake up. Now, if I first wake up and the first thing I see is a TikTok of somebody doing something
stupid,
whatever they're doing, it's like, your mind starts to go all these different places. Right. But if you kind of center yourself and just, I just see it as me kind of devoting my time to him first. Like
that first fruit.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to build a family and build a life where like he is the main, center focal point of what we do, and that's just been abandoned in the world today. With a lot of halfway of doing things. And I'll be the first to tell you I've kind of been in that middle way of life. In certain parts. Just trying to figure out what's right, what's wrong. What's sin, what's not sin, just kind of battling the things that life kind of throws at you. But I've learned that if you kind of make him the center of your day when you first wake up, it'll be on your heart the entire day. Now, if you wake up and the first thing you check is your bank account, all you're going to think about is how much money you have or how much money you can, play with or how much money you're going to lose.
How much money you don't have.
Exactly. But if you wake up and, bro, it's not easy. There's been, we started doing this plan stuff 4 months ago. We're just now being consistent with it to where like we're actively like, you ready to do the plan? Okay, let's do it. And I mean, bro, it's not easy at all to have the same mentality every time you wake up in the morning. But I think that once you do it the first time, it makes you the second time. Second time makes you the third time. And it just
that consistency.
It's consistency, bro. Yeah. It all comes back to consistency and intentionality about what you want to do. If we were just going to the gym, just doing whatever, you still wouldn't be able to catch your two hands.
Still wouldn't be able to catch.
But we did ball drills. Like
every day,
religiously.
Every day,
religiously, bro. Like that was one thing. I was like, if there's one thing this dude's gonna be able to do before he leaves me, he's gonna be able to catch the ball.
Catch the dang ball, bro.
Cause my goodness.
It was awful.
But like that whole mentality of you have to bring it every day, and that's the most cliche thing that you can hear, but it's true, bro. Like you have to bring a mindset to be intentional every day, or where our minds, this world is so flawed that you're easily swayed by different things, whether it be emotions or your partner's emotions or whatever the case may be. Something's going to get you off track, but if you're centered on what you want to do, it's going to make it a whole lot easier.
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, like, we kind of lose track that, like, we like to think 5-10 years ahead of time.
Yeah, bro.
And really what you can do, and one of my favorite sayings is, like, keep your feet on the ground but your head in the clouds,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like never quit dreaming, never quit knowing where you want to be, what you want in life, your goals, but like your feet are on the ground.
Correct.
So like for that day, what can I do today?
Exactly.
And shout out to my mom. She always told me this growing up. One of my favorite sayings is like, every day lay a brick in the path to your future, to your dream. Like some days you're going to be able to just like lay 20 bricks, right? And some days you might just lay one brick, but make sure every day that you are chasing and pursuing these things, whether or not, if it's a one workout or if it's a big business deal or whatever it is, those days will come. But sometimes it's just getting out of bed. Saying your prayers, staying motivated,
going
being
to the
a
gym.
Good person, right? You're and just doing the things that you're supposed to do, and chasing that dream, man. And that's the same mentality, and that's something Jay. I mean, he's constantly been. One of my favorite things about him is he's a ginger and he has no salt. No, I'm just playing. But one of my favorite things about him is he consistently is trying to master his craft, whatever it is. Like if he gets into a certain thing, right? He is wanting to become just a master, like a Jedi of just this, like,
he gets obsessed with it.
I'm telling you, dude, you give this dude like 3 minutes of downtime. I'm over here playing video games or whatever. He's got his guitar out and he's like trying to master a riff somebody was just humming. You know what I'm saying? Or if he gets into the gym, he wants to know why we're doing workouts. What this is working. He like trusts me in a lot of ways, but he wants to build his own.
Correct.
And that is something that you just stay consistently with. You have that mentality to grind every day, because you can get so just like overwhelmed with the world. And like social media has done that to where we like watch a car blow up in this country and an earthquake hit this country, and you're like, what is going on? And if you don't have like something centering you in the morning, and you're setting your priorities straight, like, you never know what could happen in the day. It could be the best. Like I've always said, today's probably somebody's worst day of their life. You could be passing them on the road. It's the worst day of their life. You know what I'm saying? It could be the best day of somebody's life. So you just, every day you wake up, I just thank God. Like, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the breath in my lungs. And I'm going to do everything that I can to make my dreams that I feel like you put in me happen. And I think you have the same mentality.
Yeah, man. It's just about keeping a mindset to stay focused on what you want to do in life. You're going to have reality set in, but you have to be able to dream while you're still, walking through your reality. There's a lot of people that have given up on stuff because what they see isn't kind of giving them what they want long term wise.
Right.
But there was somebody that said the same. He was like, there was a guy that was traveling and it was foggy and he was with the horse and he's like, I don't know where to go. He's like, can you see your next step? He's like, yeah, well, just take that. Take the next step. Whether it's because for me personally, like I had the worst way of like waking up in the morning. I'd wake up straight to TikTok, eat terrible, and now I'm at the point to where like I'm at least having a intentional part of my day where I'm actively pursuing God. And then I'm eating healthier, making an effort to go to the gym in the morning. So just having that consistent effort to approach has been the thing that's kind of been pushing me. But there's still bad days. There's still days where you don't get enough sleep. You might stay in bed a couple, hour or two longer than you should have. It's part of it. But you have to make sure that those good days outweigh your rough days. Because those rough days are going to come.
Always.
But that's why you got to combat it with you got to be intentional about creating good days. No one wakes up and is like, I'm going to have a bad day today. Like I'm going to do something.
Destroy my
I'm
life
going to
today.
do something really stupid. Like nobody wakes up.
There might be a couple people.
I mean, there might be a couple. There might be a handful of people in today's world that are like waking up just like
we all know those people.
Mischievous,
We all know those people.
But I think everybody for the most part wants to succeed, wants to do well in life. And I think that nowadays people just don't know how, and that them not knowing how is kind of keeping them paralyzed, and anxiety. Like they don't know how to take that next step. They might see their next step, but they don't even know how to take it because they've never been through the fire or had to, whatever the case may be. But I just think there's a lot of people in today's world that have the ability to do so much, but they're just sitting on the starting line waiting for somebody to push them. And nobody's gonna push you but yourself, bro. You could call me in the morning. You could call me in the morning. My mom, my dad. But if I don't have the intentionality to wake up, bro, we're grown now.
Mm-hmm.
We are set in our ways to a certain point where we're gonna do what we want to do unless we make a change. So that's been my whole thing, is just trying to make that change in a more positive way. So
right on.
It's been a blessing.
One day at a time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Dude, Malik, it's so good to see you, man, because you know, for you've always been like one of my like best friends, heroes. I've always loved your story, your mentality, but just the biggest thing, man, is you just believing in me, taking a chance on me when I was just a stranger, and the heart that God gave you to love me, and when nobody else believed in me, when nobody else wanted to pour into me at the time. So that will always, you know, echo for me for the rest of my life. You know, the things that you've done, what you've spoken into me, the ways that you spent time with me, and you know, just the you were there when I needed you. And you know, it's crazy, man, because I feel like a lot of people, they don't understand like what it is to really believe in somebody. Like you took stock in me, man. You put your best interests aside.
I still got stock in you.
Yeah, I know you do, man. And the thing is, man, to me, like, to my personality, to the type of guy that I am, that is the most meaningful thing anybody can do for me. Like, you could give me $1 million. I'm gonna dap you up. I'm gonna hug you. I'm gonna take you to dinner with the money you just gave me. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your service. And you know, and I'll be so happy about that $1 million, man. But when I get home and I'm like, okay, I got $1 million. But when somebody believes in me, when nobody else sees it, and I think that's faith in general, believing in things unseen, right? That's like the biggest statement that a friend can do for me. So, man, it's always been just an honor to be around you, and you know, to have you here with my other best friend Jay Little.
Man. Let's go. Man.
You know, I just enjoy the time that we get, and that God gave us the opportunity to meet. I know the story's not done.
No, not by any means.
You know,
we'll be following up.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm just happy to have you, man.
Yeah,
man. Really, dude. This has been a great time just to chill and really get to dive deep and hang out, man. So I'm honored. Thank you for being here, and we love hearing your story. And yeah, man, you're an awesome dude. You got anything to say to the homies out there? Like any advice? Words of advice. Jay's gonna give some words of advice.
I'm gonna shout out all the guys that were with me through my personal and athletic and development over the years. All the teammates, coaches. If those guys didn't believe in me, I wouldn't have been able to be in position to believe in you.
True.
And I think God places, certain people in certain situations because He wants to see an ultimate goal come out of that. And we are just pawns, and I think that us being open to Him moving us and just having the faith that whether this looks like it's right or not, I'm just gonna do it because I know that it's in my heart and that it's in the will of God. I'm gonna do it. I think that's the biggest thing that you can have in life, is that motivation.
Right. Right.
I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Absolutely. Thanks
Jay,
for being here.
Anything to say to the homies before we get to a close?
All the homies out there. That was a good story, man. I love it. I think I'm really excited to hear where you're going from here. I know you're getting into medical sales and everything, but that's huge, man. You've gone through so much. I've got mad respect. I did not realize we were the same age, dude. Like, I definitely thought you were older and everything. So this is so cool to see somebody who's gone through so much opposition is still trucking forward with a great attitude, pouring that belief into other people. So keep it up. Y'all out there, wait for the follow-up. We're going to see where this guy is going. So
we're definitely going to have to bring Malik back. And
most definitely.
We're going to have to do one of those little guy trips that we just filmed the whole thing and have a good time.
Yeah, we should go to Vegas.
Bro, I've never been to Vegas.
We should go.
Let's run it up.
I'm down.
Let's go.
You just tell me when and I'll go.
I know a guy out there that's got some influence.
Bro, I know low-key, I just met a guy when I was snowboarding in Colorado that is, he's like this Italian gangster, and he was in there like being like, no, these skis are not good, and I was like, who is this dude? But I talked to him, got his phone number and stuff. Turns out he's like this professional tour guide for celebrities in Vegas. Like he's toured Julia Roberts, Jennifer Aniston, like Ryan Reynolds and stuff. Like he books their whole itinerary. He like will get drivers and stuff. Like he's the mastermind, and he's doing it. He's retired. That's not what he even did for life.
Dang.
And so he was like, next time you're in Vegas, just hit me up. So
oh yeah, there you go.
if you guys, the homies out there, would like to see all the homies in Vegas,
I know I got
just
some
give
homies
us a
ready to go to
thumbs up.
Vegas.
Comment Vegas on there. We'll
Comment
do a Vegas
Vegas.
trip. Malik, you're
Let's do
coming
it.
too.
I'm down, bro. Let's
Okay.
Run it up.
go. Let's do it.
All right, y'all. All the homies.
Jay, you want to play us a little guitar on the way out?
You're a wizard.